do things that is true to you. Whatever you're trying to do, be yourself, and honestly, do what you believe in. If you don't believe that certain things are good for you, or certain things, aren't going the way you want them to go, don't do those things, but you always want to do things true to you.
This is Pittsburgh, a place where a rich heritage of making things and a fierce, independent nature come together to create a thriving entrepreneurial community. Whether you're a small business owner looking for ideas or inspiration, or you're an enthusiastic supporter of local businesses, you'll find it here. I'm your host, Darin Vilano, and this is the Proprietors of Pittsburgh podcast. I'm here today with my guest, Keem Robinson, also known as Coach Keem, who's the owner of Coach Keem Training. Thanks so much for being on the show. Really appreciate you being on.
Hey, I appreciate you having me.
Thanks. So tell me a little bit about your background and how you got here to having your own gym. Did you have an athletic background, for example, where you were into athletics and then you got into personal training? Was it through coaching? Did you work in the fitness industry? Just curious how your history evolved, your background evolved to get you to here to where you're at today.
It all started just from growing up as a little kid, playing football in the neighborhood, from around this area, this Larimer area here. And so that's where it started at, just having that active lifestyle in general. Mm-hmm. But what got me into actual training was my mom, she died from heart disease.
Wow.
My grandmother, she had heart disease. My uncle, so heart disease runs in my family. And what happened from there is, I realized that I wanted to get on the preventative end of that. How can we prevent heart disease? And one of the biggest ways to do that is through diet and exercise. So I figured if I could take that route, I can be an example in the community. I can make a difference within the city. And so that's what got me into it. I started out, trained at LA Fitness. And then I didn't like how they did it. So because I didn't like how they did it, I wanted to do it myself. And I said, man, you know what? I can do this myself. And now we here, in the gym. So it was a journey.
Be able to control your own destiny, create your own philosophy, put to work what you put to work, and be able to put everything together. Did you do the did you grab onto that at a young age, it sounded like, with your family and some of that, and did it evolve over time with sports and stuff like that?
I mean, I was always a person that wanted to move to my own beat. I always used to get in trouble as a kid because I wanted to do that, but my grandma used to always say, if you want to do things your own way, get your own house. Yes. So with that being said, I mean, I had to get my own house. I had to do things my way. If I wanted to train the way I wanted to train, I had to do it my way. If I wanted to, make the impact I wanted to make, I needed to do it my way. And so that's where it all stemmed from, just having that, having that background to be able to do it your way. So that's where it came.
Absolutely. Tell me, how would you describe your philosophy, your methodology here for Coach Keem Training? So what principles, for example, do you stick to? What things come to mind when you think about Coach Keem Training and what it stands for, how you work with your clients, how you approach your work? What comes to mind, with what sets you apart? The
client is the most important part of the business. We put an emphasis on the client itself. No matter, what your needs are, we look to solve that problem. You're walking in here, you have a problem, you have an issue, you have something about you that you don't like. So we put an emphasis on that of helping you, and we want to bring value to your life. So we stress a lot about bringing value. Any of my trainers on staff, anybody that is a part of the staff, we must bring value from the day that you touch the website to the day that you walk in for a free session to the next time that you walk in on your first session. It's all about bringing value to people.
So it's leading with value and customized solutions, it sounds like.
Yeah, everything's personalized. So everything here is personalized. We do group training, but for the most part, everything that you get is going to be personalized down to your meal plan, to the training you're getting, to the one-on-one coaching you'll get. Is personalized to your goals. On the email list that we send out, if you try and gain weight, you 9 times out of 10 you about to get weight gain. emails and different emails geared around your goals. So yeah.
So holding people accountable then too, it sounds like.
That's how you add value to people's lives. You know what I mean? You got to be accountable. You got to hold somebody accountable to get them to the level they want to get to help them accomplish their goals. So if you ain't holding nobody accountable, then you technically, in my mind, I don't think you're doing your job.
So it looks like from a lot of your social media posts that you talk a lot about nutrition. I've seen a lot of your posts talking about, cheat meals and don't get crazy with and do a cheat day and calorie management, calorie restriction, and tips around weight loss. Obviously, that's a big issue for a lot of clients. How important is nutrition for you in your work and your gym and how you work with clients? I mean, are you talking with pretty much everybody coming through the door about nutrition at some level, helping them? How important is that nutritional aspect in what you're doing?
Nutrition is everything. I mean, I always tell people you can't outwork a bad diet. So at the end of the day,
that's a great quote.
If your diet's bad, then 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get the results you want. But when it just comes down to your health in general, nutrition's everything. Diabetes, heart disease, nutrition,
that
high blood pressure,
stuff that you were talking
nutrition.
About, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? All of these things that can be prevented come from your nutrition first, what you put in your mouth. Because at the end of the day, how do all of us get fuel? It's from food. So the food that you're putting in your mouth, from the food that's going into your body, all of that plays a role in how healthy you are, how you look, how you feel, how you sleep. If you're not sleeping well, 9 times out of 10, you should check your nutrition. If you don't got energy, you should check your nutrition. So nutrition plays a role in everything. You won't get a good quality workout without actually eating the right things.
You probably see a difference when somebody comes in and they've switched and started eating better, that they're getting more out of the workout than before, right?
Absolutely. I mean, they got more energy, number one. They have more energy to get through the workout. They don't crash after the end of their workout. So those are some of the things that we see when somebody starts eating right. It's not just the physical change within their body, but mentally.
And I understand that you're a football coach. Are you still a football coach now?
Yes, I am.
So you're a football coach.
Football coach, high school football coach, Sarah Catholic High School. I'm the defensive coordinator there.
Great. One of the younger coaches in this part of the state.
Yeah.
Tell me what has your role as a coach? How has it helped you with your work in the gym, and vice versa? How does what you do here every day help you with what you're doing at your work as a coach? How do they interplay off of each other and work together?
As a coach, football coach, it's honestly, this is gonna sound crazy, it's a light switch. Sometimes I got to turn it on, turn it off with certain feels of it. So on the football field, coaching them boys, they need me a little bit more harder. You see what I'm saying? In the gym, I train more women than men. Okay. So I can't be as hard, as pushy with women. But there's a lot of similarities. And just to answer the question, coaching the boys in high school, I mean, I get so much out of it as a man because it keeps me on my toes. I have to hold myself to a higher standard. If I'm asking them to do certain things, I have to be able to do them twofold.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So just doing that, making sure that I'm always on my P's and Q's, making sure that I'm treating, I'm walking in life positive, head high, never having
being
my
a good
head
example,
down.
Being a good role model.
And that's what it is. You got to be a role model. And how that works hand in hand here is, it just basically, as a business person, my brand is my name. And with my name, everything is trickled around that. The first thing you'll hear is if Keem go out here and do something wrong, oh, Coach Keem's out here, he's wilding on the island. He's going out of control. But at the end of the day, it's just, again, it's making me hold myself to a higher standard. And then it pushes me to be able to relate to people better. I'm able to talk to people better. I'm able to, see different things when people's cheating. You know what I mean? I could tell when somebody's slacking. I could tell when somebody's not because I see it all the time. You see what I'm saying? So
it sounds like it gives you two different perspectives because you got younger athletes that are athletically focused. Here you might have some athletically focused folks, but you're also doing a lot of lifestyle coaching here because you got real people, older people trying to get in shape for things. And so they kind of play off each other, though, and you're learning from both.
Yeah, a lot of things in here is more functional. So it's more functional fitness. The way we train an athlete, so the college athletes we train, the way we train them is totally different than we train the general population. You know, the general population is not trying to jump higher. They're not trying to run faster. You know what I mean? Although that is sometimes the result as a byproduct, but that's not their goal. You see what I'm saying? So we focus here more functional. When it comes to the athletes, it's more performance-based.
Absolutely. So you've been coaching clients for a number of years now, probably coach a lot of people here in the gym. What things have they taught you? I mean, what comes to mind of like some of your clients that just, you know, you had some like memorable experiences where you learned something about yourself in terms of being a person who's running a business, a person who's training, a person who's helping them out? Like what things have you learned?
That you can't do everything yourself. You know, you need help sometimes. That's one of the first things that come to mind. And just to piggyback off of, like, you can't do everything yourself. Sometimes, you know, you got to learn when to take a break. That rest is actually a requirement. You know, rest is not optional. You should actually rest. You know, so knowing that you can't do everything yourself and that rest is required, those are some of the biggest things that I could say I've learned from clients in and of itself. You know, if you're not feeling well, stay home.
Sure.
You know what I mean? If life is going on and life is real busy, you know, ask for help.
Yes.
You know, I grew up around a time where I just felt like I could do it all myself. You know what I mean? And just having a business, you can't do everything yourself. You know, once you get to a certain level, you know, you got to start actually delegating. You got to start hiring new people. And understanding and actually giving that up, you know, and having to trust other people.
And that's a hard part for many people.
Especially with a business, small business, and you know what I mean, finding good help and trusting people to get the work done is definitely hard.
Absolutely.
You know.
So I see that, you know, you offer different training packages. You have a couple classes that you offer. And now you've been doing this for a few years. How does that evolve, your offerings, your packages? How has that evolved over time? Did you experiment, for example, and try some things? Maybe you tried some packages or some classes that worked, or some things that didn't work. I noticed on your packages, they're very detailed. You know, you're pretty clear about all the benefits, the things that people are going to get out of it. I'm sure that you've learned a little bit over time on how to put those packages together. What kinds of things did you learn from that process, and like how did you experiment to come up with the offerings that you have today?
The first thing was you go from what you know. You know, I seen how LA Fitness did it. You know, I seen the way they ran their training packages, so I tried to bring that into my business at first because that's all I had known. You know, and then after doing research, you know, of how, you know, other gyms are doing it, you know, I started trying to go that way. But more so how I create my packages is just being authentic to me. I look at everything to the level where even with the price range of the packages, it's more so around the range where how much money a person would usually waste within a month.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but also geared towards the community that I'm in and the community I come from. You know what I'm saying? We, like I said, we are unhealthy. You know what I mean? Speaking more so for black folks, African Americans, we're one of the most unhealthiest by facts, by numbers. You know, we're one of the most unhealthiest races there are out there. We lead in high blood pressure. We lead in diabetes. So I just wanted to be able to give to that population. So affordable and cost effective came about, you know what I mean? But as for learning, just learning what consumers want. You know, all consumers want low prices, no matter what it is. All consumers want fast delivery, you know, so people want results.
Like speed, convenience,
you know what I mean?
All that stuff, right?
And at the end of the day, people want large selection. So when I figured that out and I found that formula works, I needed a large selection of packages. You know, what could people want, you know? But then you needed your budget packages. What about people that's coming in looking for clearance rack? You know, so we had to make a clearance rack type of package. And then just finding a need, seeing a market that wasn't getting served, you know? So like college students, they weren't getting served. I just got married, you know, 2 months ago, and I realized that, you know, there wasn't a lot of trainers out there with packages for weddings. You know, so my wife, you know, she mentioned, like, boo, we should put together a package, with for wedding and bridal parties, so that's how that came about. So it's just finding a need and filling it.
Yeah, I was going to mention the wedding package because I thought that was brilliant. When I was looking at your website, number one, I didn't notice a lot of other people having that either, and I think it's so smart because it also there's a sense of urgency. If you got a wedding date coming up, you got to, there's an end date, there's a goal. And sometimes we need that extra motivation of, hey, there's this timeline out there we got to meet. We got to do certain things to be able to meet that timeline. So I thought that was really brilliant. So it sounds like you're really listening to the consumer as well, trying to create that offering.
Again, the customer is the most important part of the business. When you listen to the customer, you're going to get feedback, very quickly. You listen to the client, you're going to get feedback very quickly, and they'll tell you what they want. It's just about putting a plan together to be able to execute what they want.
Let's talk about social media for a second. You're very active on social media, especially Instagram. Great content, great, you're rising to the top here in the city with your content. I'm just curious, how has that evolved for you over time? What types of posts tend to pop more than others? Is it testimonials? Is it before and after pics? Is it you talking to the camera? I know there's a lot of, you doing 1 minute or less, topics and talking to the camera. You're probably looking at your numbers. What has worked, and you have really good numbers, by the way. What's worked for you on content, and how has that evolved for you over time?
I started with just, posting workout videos, period, to just let people know I'm working people out. I actually know what I'm doing. When you're working for big box gyms, you don't get the opportunity to promote like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So just being able to put the content out, of just posting was what I focused on first. And honestly, I still keep that same diagram. Content. Content is king. But what works best is it's more so around the time that I post it.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when it's social media, there's certain times that you might want to post versus when you don't want to post.
And you've played with that, experimented with
that.
that.
And you just got to know those times, for your business.
Sure.
I know for my business, a lot of people early in the morning, a lot of people, I start at 5 a.m., but ain't nobody woke at 5.
Right.
I'm really not going to make a post at 5 a.m. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not going to get the attraction, you see. But when you got around 9, 10 a.m., most people are at work, they settle down, you know what I mean? That's a good time to post a post. So if I make a post anywhere between the realms of 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., it's going to do pretty well. A result picture always going to do one of the best because people actually get to see a transformation from before, after. The result picture is always going to do the best. People working out, it don't actually get as many likes as a result picture may. A result picture can get 100, 200 likes. But, if I post a video of, some workouts that people are doing within the gym, it won't get as many likes, but it does bring more awareness.
Gotcha.
It helps actually. And that's a lot of my posts aren't for selling. A lot of my posts are actually to bring the awareness, to create the conversation, to actually get people active, to motivate, and uplift
bringing that
individuals.
Value and getting that, spreading that awareness, building that brand, building that reputation. So that people
and if you realize, if you're looking at my posts, I give away a lot of stuff. I'm giving you free workouts. I'm giving you free meals. I'm giving you this stuff. You see what I'm saying? So you literally, one of the reviews we've had a young lady. She actually followed my page, never trained with me, but followed the page, and she got results.
Oh, wow.
By just watching the videos.
That's cool.
And, watching the post of what we're posting about meals and different things like that. Never bought a meal plan, nothing from us. And she got results from that, So, and that's what it's about. You know what I mean? It's not always about that dollar. Obviously in business it is. If you're not making money, you don't got a business. But at the end of the day, the more people you serve, the more money you're going to make.
And eventually that all comes back to help you anyway.
Absolutely. There's always going to be a good ROI on that.
Absolutely. So you had mentioned that you had other people on staff. You have a trainer and you have other people in your company besides you. What has been some of the most challenging parts of bringing in, because, when you have a small business and maybe you start off with yourself and then you bring the first person in, then the second person in, that dynamic's going to change a little bit. So because there's not that many people, what's been the challenging part of bringing in new people, and what's been the rewarding part of bringing in new people?
The challenging part is finding the good, proper help. who's going to do it and not be in it for the money.
Yeah.
See, when you working for me, you can't be money first. If you're going to ask the question, will working for you make me money? That's a bad first question. See, you got to ask it. The first question that you need to be asking working for me is, can I help someone? Can I serve? Can I solve a problem? When you ask that question first and you put will I make money second, money always going to come. That's what I learned. I learned that if you start focusing on the money first, you probably 9 times out of 10, you may make money, but you ain't gonna continue.
It's gonna be short term
to make money.
Yeah, you're gonna lead with others first. Yeah.
So that's where it is. Just finding the right people, man. Everybody. We live in a society where we want to get paid, and that's understandable. You should get paid, but we got to put the work in here first. We got to actually care about people, because if you come in on, and be with us, you can't just say I'm a trainer.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have to be a brother, a sister. You may have to be a mentor. You may have to be a coach that day. You may actually have to just be a friend and ask and actually give up a shoulder for them. You see what I'm saying? So, and because that's how I built this, and that's not going to change. You see what I'm saying? We're not going to change our values, our morals, and our views of how we got here. And obviously, just the good thing is just being able to grow. You're at a ceiling when you by yourself.
Sure.
So once you get to that level where you got more help, more employees, more people volunteering, then you get to grow. You actually remove the ceiling away from you, and you actually could go as high as you can. You see what I'm saying? So that's the best part about having help and having other people come into the business with you.
What's a next step for Coach Keem Training? What are you taking your business here in the near future? Are you looking to offer different services, make your staff, grow your staff even more? What kinds of things are you looking at in your own business in terms of growing it?
We're looking to touch more people. We want to get more people in that we can. We want to get the most people. We want to continue to make impact. We want to continue to be an authority and grow that authority, meaning that we want to be able to, when you say Coach Keem, that's where I go when I want to get right. I want to lose some fat. I want to gain some weight. I want to feel more confident. That's where I go right there, So it's about, and continue to build the brand. At the end of the day, the goal was always, it wasn't just Pittsburgh, it was to take over the entire tri-state, branch off into the middle of the state of Harrisburg and even grow into, Philadelphia. So, we're doing well right now, hopefully, we end up, getting to that level where, we're in multiple places within the state of Pennsylvania, but, we're on a good path right now. But it's just all about, at the end of the day, continue to build the brand awareness, continue to put the message out, continue to get the conversations going, and continue to just bring value to people's lives. And as we continue to do that, more business partnerships will come, more people will start trickling in, more people. So, and the clientele will continue to grow. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We've been growing every year. Every single year we've grown. So, life's good over here on the Team Keem, man. I will say that.
That's great. As we wrap up here, final thoughts on advice for entrepreneurs. Somebody out there that's listening to this right now who's starting a business or wants to start a business. Doesn't have to be in the fitness industry, by the way. It could be anything. What things would you share with that person that you've learned just being a business owner and growing a business that could maybe help them?
Do things that is true to you. Whatever you're trying to do, be yourself, and honestly, do what you believe in. If you don't believe that certain things are good for you, or certain things, aren't going the way you want them to go, don't do those things, but you always want to do things true to you. You want to be able to do things that are going to be, do things that are going to solve a problem. Always ask, is this going to solve a problem?
Right.
That's the number one thing, man. If you got a business that you're trying to start, ask yourself first, does it solve a problem? Because if it solve a problem, people won't come back from you.
Absolutely.
If you ain't solving no problems, you're not going to separate yourself, But that's the number one. Those are probably the 1 and 2, 1A, 1B, however you want to word it, things that I would say to a person, Be true to yourself, do things you believe in, and solve a problem, with it, whatever business that is.
Cool. Coach Keem, thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Man, I appreciate you for having me.
Thanks.